Hi guys, and welcome back to Chengi's World. Guys, thank you so much for joining me, for liking, subscribing, commenting, and being a part of my world. You know how I love you guys. Now this video today is about love. It's what is love? Is it love or is it ego? Is it desperation? What is it? What is it? What is it? Because I know that there are counterfeit emotions that call themselves love that are not love. And I was just about ready to record this video when I went live on YouTube, and one of you guys asked me a question about, will I always love my ex? And so I want to really answer that question because I feel it's something that has been on my heart, something that God is speaking to me about, and I think something that is relevant to all of us as we embark on this journey. There's a reason the Bible defines love and goes into detail about love is patient, love is kind, love is whatever. And I remember talking to a guy friend of mine, and he was sort of putting his nose up at the whole thing, and love is not enough to keep a relationship going. And I was like, no, but it kind of is. Love is enough. And I was saying to him, but look at the contents of a lot of, and what he was really referring to was that a lot of people say that they're in love and they get married and commit to one another, and really what they don't have is love. It's something else. It's definitely not love, because love by its very nature, by its very force, by its very nature is never fails. It just doesn't. It doesn't fail. So if we are saying we're in love and things are failing, then we need to look at what is really going on. Is it really love? Because love never fails. Because love by its very quality and its very nature is a giving thing. It's giving in its nature. And so I looked at it and I thought to myself, I was reflecting on it at a time. I'm not one of these girls that falls in and out of love with guys. I'm very aware. In fact, I hazard to say that I ever give my heart away wholly and completely and totally. And maybe it's just because I haven't met that person who just makes me feel that way. But recently I had a bit of an experience where I realized that I loved someone. And it was a different experience. And at that point, that's when God spoke to me and said, yes, that is love, Chengi. That is love. That what you feel is actual love. Now, I remember a time when I felt I was in love with this guy, and I called a friend of mine. I was like, he was treating me like an idiot. He was being an idiot. I think I was thinking about this guy like a million times, because I gave him 2 years of my life. And if any one of you guys know me, you follow me, you know that a year is all a man gets. If he's lucky, if he makes it past the first 7 days. I am really very intolerant of nonsense, and because I can see things coming a mile away, I like to save myself the hassle. So the long and short of this is I gave this guy 2 years of my life, complete devotion, and he was just playing games and being stupid. But at the end of it, I was talking to a girlfriend of mine. I was like, but I really love him. I'm actually in love with him. And my heart was breaking in a million different places, because I know I'm not the type to fall in love easily. I don't just fall in love. I don't fall for people that quickly. I fall in lust easily, and I fall into infatuation very, very, very quickly, because I've got an extreme imagination. But love, I don't know, like that falling in love. I love people. I can love you, but falling in love, well, I don't know. And so I remember my friend saying, no, you're not in love with him. You're in love with the idea of him. And I remember being annoyed. Like, I know what I feel. But obviously, after the relationship ended, I totally got when I got over it, I realized that I actually wasn't in love with him. A lot of what we call love is a place of neediness. Now, we are built to connect for romance. We're built to connect for friendship. We're built to connect. And when those connections are not happening, it causes a vacuum in our spirit. And when somebody comes after a long time to fill that vacuum, we naturally attach to them, because it's been a long time since we met anybody we resonate with, anyone we get on with, anyone that is vaguely within the sphere of our wanting them. So when we meet that person and those elements are in place, what we do is just, I'm in love. Basically, you've met somebody who is filling temporarily or who may permanently fill that void, but you've now decided that you're in love. Now, one of the things I looked at when I was looking at the traits of the guy and the relationship I was in, I always felt like I needed him to give me his time and his attention. I always felt like I needed something from him. Like, just give me yourself. Give me. I was always in a state of give me your time, give me your attention, give me your lips, give me your body, give me you. I was constantly in this thirsty, demanding pulling, and the more he pulled away, the more I wanted him. And because he was always into playing the hot cold games, because of course I wasn't the only one on the Filofax or the Rolodex or the phone that he was dealing with, then obviously he didn't feel the same way. But whenever we were together, he would give me everything I wanted in that moment. And then when he was not there, far from sight, far from mind kind of situation. But I was very conscious of the fact that what I was feeling was a need to be met, an emptiness. I needed him to give me. It was a very give me. And of course I wanted him to be happy, and of course I wanted him to smile, and I wanted to see joy in his face. But I wanted to be the one who made that possible. I wanted to be the one that put a smile on his face. I wanted to be the one that gave him joy. I wanted to be the one that created this happiness in his life. And I felt that because I wanted to create it, that I was desperate to be the one to create that happiness, that I must love you because I want you to be happy, and I know how to make you happy. I can be your dream girl. I can be your sexy thing. And I know the kind of woman that I am. You know, I'll look after you, and there's nothing you will ever want or need that I won't give to you, because I'm that kind of woman. When I am in a relationship, I'm all in. I am an all in kind of girl, which you know, a guy who is playing games would find intimidating, overwhelming, and suffocating. But you know, a man who's in it to win it tends to really appreciate those values in a woman, as long as you're not being suffocating, because there is a difference. So I remember feeling that every time he withdrew or was not there, I felt like he was robbing me of something. And so I started to look at a lot of women who would be like, but I love him and I love him. And I would have these conversations with these guys, and I thought, you don't love him. You need him perhaps to fill some emotional void. Because the way he's treating you, there is no way you can love somebody who treats you that badly. There's no way you can love somebody who is rejecting you or has rejected you. There's no way you can love that person. So something else, there's a counterfeit in its place, calling itself love. Counterfeits are very much the bane of our existence, because there is a genuine true emotion and there's a counterfeit version for it. And the only way you know whether it's true or false is the driver behind it. What is driving this feeling? And so as I was thinking and meditating, I remember driving, and then God just hit me with it. And then it was very clear to me. You know that it is love when you really want that person to be happy. You really want that person to find their joy, to find their peace, to find their fulfillment. But here is the key. Because even when you're in lust and infatuation, you want that person to be happy. But here is the key. It is love when you don't need to be the one to provide it. It's love when you don't have to be the one to bring that joy into their lives. You just want them happy, even if they find happiness with someone else. That's the caveat. That's when you know you love somebody. So do I still love my ex? Will I always love my ex? Well, how do you feel about him finding happiness with another woman? If that breaks you up and destroys you inside and tears you apart, then baby girl, you don't love that man. You might need him. You might have an unhealthy codependency. And sometimes it's ego. When we're rejected, our ego really comes to the fore. Our ego really begins to speak. When we feel rejected, then what we do is we begin to think we need that person, because our ego needs to get them back. And our ego is a real false prophet, right? It will speak and it will tell you, this is how you feel, this is how it is, this and this and this. And you will find yourself in a position where you're thinking, Do I really think and feel that way? Am I sure that this is how I think and feel? But actually, it's a counterfeit emotion. It is usually the ego. It is usually lust. It is usually infatuation. Love is not something that happens random. So, like, with everyone, you can love everyone, but that love where if you can say to yourself, I want them happy, so happy. I want them so happy that they don't even need to find that happiness in me. And the moment you can feel yourself releasing that person to their joy and to their personal space and place in life, the moment you can release somebody into their space, that's when you realize that actually I am in love with them. Love will always set free. Love by its nature is giving. For God so loved the world that he gave. If you feel that, and that's really interesting to me, because sometimes we give out of self-sacrifice, not out of selflessness. I want to define the difference. Selflessness is when I give to you out of my abundance, where I could get something out of it, but I want nothing out of it, because your joy and your freedom and your liberty and the smile on your face is really what's making me happy. That's my trade-off. When I do something for you and I see you happy, that's all I want. I don't want anything in return. Then we have self-sacrifice. When you give out of your lack, out of your poverty, out of your I don't have. Self-sacrifice is a lot of what people call love, but it's not. It's self-sacrifice. Love will never require you to give up your dreams, to give up your destiny. You know, if you want to know if somebody truly loves you, or if you truly love somebody, if somebody truly loves you, they will never ask you to stop hanging out with your friends. They will never ask you to stop spending time with your family. They will never ask you to stop pursuing your vision, your dreams, and your hopes. They will never ask that of you. They will always ask of you to be there. They will always ask nothing of you except for your happiness. They will never take anything away. And so many relations that we call love, by the time you look at the time that you've been with this person to the time that you are now, you will realize that you've changed. You've given up your hobbies. You've given up your life to be with this person. Not because you're having a great time and you want to spend every minute of the day with them, but you find that in order to make them happy, you constantly have to strip yourself of something. That's not love. Love doesn't rob you. Love expands you. It multiplies you. And it's not out of, I have to give up this thing that is valuable and meaningful to me. I have to give up my job, give up the business meetings I was having, give up time with my friends. For me, when I love somebody, I want them to spend time with your friends, because that's where they're getting joy. When I love somebody, I want them to continue with their career and to continue with the things that they feel are valuable. And I will happily take a step back for them to continue to feel that wholeheartedness. But when I come to a point where in order for you to be happy, you have to be minus me, then that's the point where I love you enough to walk away. That's the point that I think, okay, this person is happy with their friends, with their career, with their business. They're happy with the pursuits of their heart. And me being in their lives just seems to be a stumbling block. It seems to be a problem, an issue. So what I'm going to do is bow out of this race and let them continue to be happy and continue to wish them well. That's what I would do. But I wouldn't, and then that's how I know that I love this person. As much as I will miss them, as much as I won't have those moments to share with them that I was hoping to have, and those intimate moments that I was hoping to create with them, I would rather they were happy even if it's without me. And that should be how somebody should feel about you. It shouldn't be, I want you to be happy as long as you let me be the one to make you happy, as long as I am the source of your happiness. And that's the love that God has for us, is that he loves us so much that as much as he wants to be the source of our happiness, he lets us not love him. He doesn't hold us back. He's God. He could chain us into a relationship with him, but he wants us to come to him freely. And he does that by releasing us into our choice and into our freedom and into what we want to do. God will always draw you and call you and seduce you and bring you into his presence and want you to know him and love him, but he will never impose it on you. He will never impose it, because he wants your complete soul and happiness. And so when we say we love somebody, are we really in love? Are you in love with your ex really? Because if you can't stand him being with somebody else, are you in love with him? Because if you love him, you're going to want him to go and find happiness, even if it means not with you. And if you say you love somebody and that you're in love with them, and you are having to sacrifice your heart's desires, your passions, the things that you're pursuing, is it love really? And if it's rejection and you're saying you love them, check the dynamics that are at work, because love is a beautiful and rare thing. And if you're not feeling it, and if it's not the real deal, if it's the counterfeit deal and you're wasting your time on this person, then you're robbing yourself of true love with someone else. So this is my message to you. Is it love or is it something else? You need to be clear. And if I'm telling you, if you don't feel that release to let them go and be happy, even if it hurts you, then it's not love. If you have to self-sacrifice and self-deprecate yourself in order to make somebody happy, then it's not love. And so that's from me to you, saying, define love. Love is a pure essence, and love never fails, even if loving somebody means letting them go. Okay, guys, I love you lots. Take care of yourself. Take care of you. Join me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Love you guys.